So if I had $1 for every time somebody told me that Aquarius have a fear of commitment, I would have all the dollars. There will be no more dollars left for you because I would have them all. Okay. So today we're going to take a look at what does fear of commitment really look like? Because some Aquarius do have fear of commitment. Some of everybody has fear of commitment. I know a Sagittarius right now who's considering getting married, and what's stopping them? Fear of commitment. So this comes up for every zodiac sign, but with Aquarius, to be fair, I get it for us the most. People say this about us all the time. So I went to my girl, the millennial therapist, to see if she had a list, and she does, of fear of commitment and what it can look like. And then after, at the end, the person that was asking me about it wants to know, what do I think a person can do about it? And that's an even trickier question. So let's get started, okay? First, hi, I'm Queen Osset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to someone else who might like it too. Also, if you would be good and leave us a positive comment in the comment section, pass this video on to everybody and anybody that you know, and stick around to the end because I'm going to read and discuss some positive comments from previous videos. If you would like to get a reading, if you would like to hit me up on social media, if you would like to send me a gift from my Amazon wish list, if you would like to get some Ask an Aquarius merchandise or some ArchAngel Michael merchandise, all of those links are underneath this video. So let's get started. First things, what does fear of commitment look like? Number one, it can be resisting vulnerability. So this is a person who refuses to get vulnerable. They refuse to let you in. They refuse to even, like, they might chill with you and hang with you and stuff like that, but they don't really want to have deep conversations. They don't really want to reveal a lot of themselves. They don't want to get vulnerable. They don't want to get naked with you emotionally. They might get naked with you in other ways, but they don't want to get naked with you emotionally. They might be somebody who tells you, you know, I don't talk about my past, or they might say, I don't do feelings, I don't do emotions. They might say something like that, which is a very foolish thing to say. And what they're really saying is there's something going on. There's something's wrong. That's what they're telling you. So if they resist vulnerability, especially, like, some people will resist vulnerability in the beginning until they get to know you. That's pretty normal. But if they consistently resist vulnerability and you've known them, you know, for quite some time, or they never get vulnerable with you, you've known them like your whole life, that is a sign of somebody who has a fear of commitment. Number two, seeking flaws in others, a reason to leave. Now, having red flags and leaving somebody alone because they look dangerous is not a problem. But if you make stuff up because you want to break up with that person, you got a fear of commitment. Like, for example, if you get into a fight with your significant other and you blow it out of proportion on purpose, that will be why you're doing that, so that you can have, you know, put distance between you, or have a reason to leave, or have a self-fulfilling prophecy like, see, I told you this wasn't going to work. But it's really that you're just looking for excuses. So, like, if you have an argument about, for instance, where to go for dinner, you know, or something small like that, and you like, you know what, I ain't putting up with this, you know, then you 9 times out of 10 we're looking for a reason to leave. Small little tiffs about stupid stuff should not stop you from seeing somebody. Major red flags or just red flags, I agree with. But little stuff like they didn't want to go to the same place you wanted to go for dinner, or you didn't like their outfit, you know. I remember a girl told me, she was one of my friends, and I couldn't believe it when she said this. She said, I broke up with him because I didn't like his ears. And I was like, what? And she was like, I didn't like how his ears were shaped. She's a Virgo. And I was like, okay. And to me, that just told me she either didn't want to commit to him or she didn't want to commit to anybody. Because that wasn't even a good reason. If he's nice to you and good to you and you break up with him because of the shape of his ears, something is definitely wrong. Number 3, needing control in the relationship. If this person is a control freak, they're always trying to control you, control the relationship, control where it goes, anybody that's doing that kind of a thing, there is a great deal of fear there. Commitment is probably just one of the fears, but this is somebody who's going to really have a hard time because you can't control another person. As much as you try to control them, you're never going to feel like you totally have 100% control because you never really will. You'd have to watch them, in a bad case scenario where you're watching them 24 hours a day, you might feel like you have control, but look at how much effort and like negative energy, it's real mental to spend your time controlling other people. Being overprotective of one's independence. Now, I'm not going to say we all enjoy independence because some people don't, but many people do. Like I do. I really enjoy my independence. I love being able to do whatever I want to do, whenever I want to do it, So I totally understand that. But I am willing to give up independence for interdependence. I'm willing to come together with another person under the right circumstances. So if this person is not, if they're totally like, nah, I'm independent, I'm staying independent, and they're overly independent, they won't let people help them, they even when they need help, that's not the kind of person that is going to be open to a commitment, because a commitment means giving up your independence in a lot of ways. You might have some independence, but you give up a great deal of it to be in a partnership with a person, especially if you live with them. Feeling trapped whenever a partner invests in the relationship. So a partner starts to invest in this person, starts to do things to make moves towards a future, for example. This will make a person who has a fear of commitment will become very uncomfortable. And like it says here, they might start to feel trapped. And at which time they might sabotage the relationship. And it's all because the other person has started to invest in the relationship. When the person wasn't investing in the relationship, they didn't feel trapped. The person wasn't investing, they weren't investing. It's just, a good old time. But now the person wants to take it more serious, or they want to move forward, and now all of a sudden they're feeling trapped. That's why they're feeling trapped, because they're starting to realize that the relationship is going towards maybe, possibly a commitment that they're afraid of. Reluctance to make future plans. Well, duh, if they don't see a future, why would they make future plans? A future, making plans for the future indicates that you at some point in time intend to maybe make some type of commitment. For example, if this person all of a sudden, they said reluctant to make these plans. So if I say to you, hey, let's make plans for September. Right now it's June. And the person is like, oh, shoot, that's, indicating that I'm going to be around in September. Who says I want to be around that long? Who knows what's going to happen? Big fear of commitment in this relationship. This person doesn't even see a future to the fall, And so in this particular case, they're reluctant to make future plans because they know they might dip at some point in time, or the relationship might not last. So they don't want to make any plans, especially plans for the future. Limiting and or manipulating communication. If a person manipulates their communication, they definitely do not want a commitment. They have a fear for some reason. A friend of mine was saying to me that she's dating this guy, and she's single and the guy is single. But for some reason, every so often, he disappears. And they're not in an exclusive relationship. They're not, they're just talking. They're just seeing each other. But she said it always happens right after they have a deep conversation. Right after they have a deep conversation, he disappears. And then after a couple weeks, he pops back up like nothing happened. And he keeps on doing this. And she says she didn't say anything about it because we're not together. So if he want to disappear and pop up, then that's his prerogative, She really doesn't care. When he pops up, they spend time. When he disappears. But she noticed that it always correlates with a deep conversation. This is a man who has a fear of commitment. 9 times out of 10, he doesn't want to commit, or he is afraid that he is going to want to commit at a time when he's not ready to be committed to anybody. So it's probably one of those two things, but that's what he does. He limits the communication, he manipulates it. When he disappears, he can't be found, he can't be bothered. But when he's in her life, he's blowing up her phone. So it's like, what is the deal here? He's afraid of where it's going to go. Sabotaging the relationship when it becomes serious. So they use one of these methods basically to sabotage the relationship. Either they start an argument. How many times has somebody started a stupid argument with you and you sitting there thinking to yourself, this person must want to break up? This kind of thing is a big one, a big, easy one. It's easy to sabotage a relationship with an argument. So this person, when it becomes serious, they will find one of these ways. They'll start an argument, or any number. They'll put some distance between the communication. They'll mess it up in some kind of way, and basically it keeps them from having to come into a commitment that they inevitably feel like is coming forward. Frequently questioning if you want to be in the relationship. So this person is constantly asking themselves if they want to be in a relationship. Nothing wrong. They just constantly asking themselves that question. And it's because they feel where it might go. So the second part of his question to me, now that we know what the fear of commitment looks like, or it can look like, what do you do about it? If a person has a fear of commitment, the only thing you can do is basically allow them to work through their fear of commitment. And for some people, they will. A lot of people have a fear of commitment and work through it. One of my relatives was putting off getting married. So years and years and years later, down the line, it's been like 15 years at that point, and they didn't get married until they had been together for like 18 years. It was a long time. And he just kept putting it off. And his wife just waited. She just engaged with him and waited. And eventually he got over his fear of commitment by himself. So you could go that route. That's a route that many men and women have taken. I don't know. For me, I'm not that patient. So I don't know if that's going to work for me, but I do think it's a very intelligent thing to do. If you can wait for them to work through it on their own, I think that's pretty smart. But the problem I have with it is that I'm not that patient, number one. And number two, that's a really big gamble. It's a big gamble to put 5, 6, 7, 18 years of my life into a person and them not know if they're going to want to commit or not. Relationships are gambles in the first place. You never know if it's going to work out or not. But I would really have a hard time putting time and effort and being serious in a relationship, and it's that long and the person isn't sure about their feelings about commitment to me. So do Aquarius have this problem? A lot of us do. I'm going to be straight up with you. A lot of us do. A lot of Aquarius do have a fear of commitment. And some Aquarius, it's not the fear of the commitment that's the problem. It is the fact they don't want to commit to the wrong person. Many of us have committed to the wrong person and don't want to do that shit again because it's very painful. Aquarius feel things very deeply and we don't want to do that to ourselves again. So it's not that this person is afraid of the commitment itself. They're afraid of making a mistake. Either one of those two things can make them engage in some of these real avoidance, self-sabotaging behaviors. So that's a very true statement. But it's not true of all Aquarius. I know a lot of married Aquarius. I know a lot of Aquarius that want to get married. I know a lot of Aquarius that keep getting married. They're serial, monogamous, So it's not to say that, oh, shoot, I got an Aquarius, they're never going to want to make a commitment. That's really not true. The truth about the matter is that if you have an Aquarius and you bond with your Aquarius and your Aquarius is open to commitment, 9 times out of 10, they will make the commitment. I told people it's a big difference between the detached and the attached Aquarius. Some people have never met an attached Aquarius. And this is why, because a lot of us don't want to make that mistake. So in this gentleman's case, what would I say to him? I would say, if you want to wait and for this person or help this person work through this fear, then that's fine. That's on you. But me personally, I would prefer the person go work on their fears and come back to me when they're ready. I don't really want to be in the relationship while they're trying to figure that out. I would much rather they go deal with that and come back, because that way it's still a gamble, but it's a different kind of gamble, because I'm not sitting there twiddling my thumbs waiting for them to make up their mind. So those are 2 of the things that you can do. If you guys have any other ideas for this gentleman, please let us know in the comment section. Now we are going to read, all right. We're going to take a look at some positive comments. Let's see if we can get them to come up. My first comment is from V Love and Crystals. V Love and Crystals is a good buddy of mine who has a page, a shop, what they call them, on Etsy. And she said, yes, love this deck. This is one of my first oracles I purchased. She's talking about the Oracle of the Essences that I reviewed the other day. It was a beautiful deck. If you haven't seen it, take a look. And she says, I love the energy. Yeah. I have the first edition and don't have some of the cards you mentioned. So pretty. Yeah, the Oracle of the Essences is really beautiful. And what I like the most about it is easy to use. Anybody who wants to know how to get into doing readings for themselves and they don't know anything about it, Oracle cards are the way to go. They're so easy. Even a child can read Oracle cards. Fat Mama. What's up, Fat Mama? Fat Mama said her card was number 3. Okay, lavender was mine, which is funny because my actual birthstone is an amethyst. Yes, mine too, February, yep. So when you pick lavender, which is also purple, I think I like lavender a lot. Some people have a love-hate relationship with lavender, but I do like it a lot. So that's cool. Number 3. All right. I hope that card helped you in the situations that you were in that day. All right, guys, it's time for us to get going. So you please come back soon because I got so much more to say. See you later.